going over the basic types of schools and also schools for people who are deaf. So the sign for school, fingers are together and your hands are like this, school. And it's not just school. Then we have elementary school. Do an E, elementary school. Middle school, there's two ways you can do this. You could do middle or middle. So with a full hand, middle, or with your middle finger forward, middle school. So middle or middle school. High school, that's just HS. College and university. Hands together. College is higher education, so it's a higher form of school. School, same placement. For college, you're just going to go back towards you and then out and up. So think of like going up a ramp. College, if you change it to U, it's university. College, university. And with that, there's a place called Gallaudet University. The sign for Gallaudet is this. Gallaudet, that was a person, Thomas Hopkins Gallaudet. He helped establish the first school for the deaf in the U.S. Very important person in deaf history. So this is his name sign. There is a university named after him called Gallaudet University. That's in Washington, D.C. It's the only college in the world where everything is for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. All of the classes are in ASL. The campus is designed to suit people who are deaf or hard of hearing. So it's the only one in the world for the deaf. There are colleges that have programs for the deaf, but Gallaudet University is the only one that the whole college is for the deaf. So college, university, Gallaudet. Public school, if a deaf person is talking about a public school, they might fingerspell public and then school. Or if they're talking about a public school, they might mean the hearing school. So remember the sign for hearing, hearing school. Private school, think of like you're keeping a secret. Private school. Homeschool, sign for home, flat O, homeschool. And then online or online or online school. Then we have medical school. This is the sign for medicine, middle finger forward. Medicine or medical school. Law school, non-dominant, dominant is an L. Law, so it touches up here and then down here. Law school. Then we have different placements for students who are deaf that are younger, so not college. So we have a residential school. There are several ways you could sign residential school. Some people just sign deaf school, or so deaf or deaf school. Some people will sign deaf or deaf, and then with eyes, residential school. And then some people will just do residential school. And what a residential school is, so think of like a boarding school where students go and stay on campus. It's kind of the same thing, but a residential school for the deaf, students who are deaf, they go to the school. Typically, they go during the week and they stay there. And then on the weekends, they might go home. It's just like any other school. They have sports, clubs, different activities, but they stay there. All of their classes are done in sign. Their teachers are either deaf or certified teachers of the deaf. So it surrounds them with sign language, with culture. It is complete immersion. There's that sign again. So it's a really good placement depending on the student and their needs. So a residential school, it's a school for the deaf, so you could do deaf school, residential school, or any combination of those. Then we have a mainstream school. So what that means is you have both deaf and hearing. And you'll see two different ways to sign this. The first, so think of, okay, here are deaf people, here are hearing people. So do fists, and they come together. So mainstream school. So you have deaf people, hearing people, they come together, mainstream school. But if someone is the only deaf person at that school, you might see where it's a 1 for instead of like a 5, mainstream school. So that means they were probably the only deaf person there. So mainstream school, and then if they're the only one, mainstream school. Then we have graduate, non-dominant, dominant is a G. There's different movements you could do. One is graduate, or you might see people just do graduate. So graduate or graduate. And if I add finish, it means graduated. Finish shows past tense. So graduate or graduated or graduated. Transfer, do a bent V, transfer. So you might see in one of the videos someone signing in elementary school or in kindergarten. They went to a mainstream school and then they transferred to a residential school. And then talking about grades in school. Ordinal numbers. Ordinal numbers show place. Ordinal numbers are numbers like first, second, third, and so on. The way they're signed is by twisting your wrist. So first, second, third, and you twist inward. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. You can do this twist movement up to ninth. And it shows the order. With grade, so the sign for grade, you might see grade. If they're in high school, typically we'll say things like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Freshman, it's on your ring finger, freshman. Sophomore, junior, senior. If you can remember senior is on your thumb, you can work your way senior, junior, sophomore, freshman. And you can use those for high school or college. So make sure you practice those. And if you have any questions, let me know.